a disclaimer that I've been playing pool a long time. Okay, so I'm a decent player. So if some of my previous experiences playing creep into these shots, that's natural. Okay, let's get started. I'm going to start with a straight in shot. I'm going to try to do all this in about 5 minutes. Okay, so I aim the center of the cue ball to the edge of the 11. I come back with a parallel. I'm parallel to the ball, parallel to this line, shift over, put my bridge hand down right on that line that's even with the one ball, and I shift over, I pivot, physically pivot, back to the center of the cue ball. So there I'm dead center on the line to make the ball, all right? I'm going to move the ball down one. We're going to keep the cue ball in the same position. Center to the edge, okay? Parallel, shift over, shoot the shot. Now you'll notice my bridge distance here, okay, one more time. I'm going to move the ball down a little bit. My bridge distance here is approximately about a foot back from the cue ball. Okay, so again, center to edge, parallel shift, move back to center, shoot the shot. Okay, I'm going to a very steep angle here. So I'm going to move it down a little bit so it's a little bit less angle. So, here, center to the edge, okay. Over here, parallel shift. Okay, I'm right at the edge of the ball here. Then I shift, I pivot over, and I shoot the shot. Okay, another shot here. Same thing, center to the edge. Set my cue down so it's parallel to the line. Pivot over. Okay, now I know this is not going to go right here. I can see it. You can see it went right into the rail right there. So obviously, that didn't work right there. So again, I'm going to make the disclaimer that I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Okay? I feel like I do. Now I'm going to air pivot this time. Here, I'm going to, it's like the center to edge line. I'm going to come down right about here, like this, and pivot in, kind of this shift pivot back here. Okay? Now I know I'm dead on. Alright, so once again, center to edge. Going to come in and kind of swoop down and pivot in. So I know that I'm on the shot right there. Alright. Try it over this way with the other side. Center to edge. Okay, right past the ball. Center to the edge of the ball. Okay, again, now here, I'm going to also keep going from the left here. Put my hand down. Pivot in, shoot the shot. And now I'm doing a bridge pivot, which is I'm pivoting from the bridge, which I think is not recommended. Okay? But again, I'm still about 12 inches or so, 8 to 12 inches away from the ball there. Okay, that didn't go. So one more time. Pivot in, shoot the shot. Okay, let's try this over here. Center to edge, put my hand down, pivot in, shoot the shot. Okay, so the question becomes, great, where do you put your bridge hand down? How do you put your bridge hand down? This is a question that I really can't answer right now. I mean, Dave Siegel says, you know, it works for him to be about 10 inches away, so he puts his cue down, you know, and kind of pivots along that spot right there, right into the shot, where, you know, I mean, I guess that, you know, I mean, he studied it a lot more than me, of course, so, you know, anything I know, I'm learning from picking it up from him and other people. But my question is, for everybody, is what happens if you're like this over a ball? So now you can't get way back here. So how do you adjust this pivot? I think that this is where something like an air pivot comes in, where you're looking at the center of the edge line and you just kind of bring it in, you know, so you're actually pivoting from back here, but your bridge is landing right here on that shot line. Okay, now I'm going to bring this up so I can do it hopefully. So your bridge is landing right on that shot line, and that should be it. Okay, so there I overcut it. But you get the idea. How could I pivot if I didn't have an obstructed view? You can pivot in the air just by lining up here and then kind of pivoting in as you come down to the shot. And now this is the first time I ever tried this, so let's move the ball. Air pivot in, bam, there it is. And you can feel it, you can see that it's there. Okay? Let's try this with a heavier cut. Okay, so here I am looking at the center of the edge line. I get down here now and I move my eyes to this line. Okay, I move my eyes down to that line and I just pivot in. There it is. Okay, so here we're going to try another cut. Okay, center to edge, pivot in. God, this thing's driving me crazy. Alright, I need to get a glove. So, pivot in from the air. So my pivot is right about here. Pivot in, drop my hand in. I should be right on that aiming line. Okay, one more time. Shoot all these balls off and that'll be the end of the tape. So, one more time. I'm looking at the center of the ball, right past the edge of the floor, right? And I'm just going to kind of come down and swoop right in on that line. Okay, here we go. Let's try a little heavier cut there. Okay, I'm just going to same thing, center to edge. Starting with this cue ball line back here, and I'm just going to come in and swivel into center and miss. So again, that's the question. How do you know that you're on the right aiming line? I mean, how do you trust this whole pivot and swoop and get down and, okay, bam, there's my line, I'm right in center. So how do I know that that's right? I mean, how can I really trust that? I don't know. I don't know. I use it and it works. Even sometimes when I say to myself that doesn't feel right, or I think I'm going to overcut it or undercut it, and then if I just trust it, I find a lot of times that it works. Now, I don't know. This is just me and it just works. So I can't stand the fact that I can't sit here and diagram it for you and measure and say, okay, if you're exactly 8 inches here and you swivel exactly, half an inch this way, then it works. I can't say that. I don't know how to say that to you because I can't diagram it like that. I mean, I can do the ghost balls all day long, and that's clear as day. But of course, you're not allowed to use a ghost ball when you're in a game situation. So you got the same kind of situation. You have to trust your imagination and say, okay, am I imagining this ball in the right spot? Or am I a little thick or am I a little thin? That's my personal problem. That's my personal problem is I can't see that. I get up on there and I try to imagine the ghost ball and I'm always a little off. I'm hitting the ball a little too thin or I'm hitting it a little too thick. And if I use this CTE system, for some reason, I'm able to hit the ball just right. Okay, most of the time. I mean, now sometimes, of course, right now, sometimes I miss some shots, and that's the inexactitude of the system that I don't know at this point. Okay, now other people like Dave Siegel, for example, say that it's exact for him. He's got it down where he measures whatever he does. He measures it just about perfectly. He's on video running out 9-ball racks. He's run 49 balls in straight pool, where he says that he uses the same system on every shot. So I believe it. I believe that he's doing the same thing every time. I'm not. So when I get a shot out in the middle of the table somewhere and I miss it, I feel like that I did something wrong. Well, I know I did something wrong because I didn't make the ball. Anyway, that's what I see as CTE right now, and I will continue to work on it and try to figure out the more exact way to do it. Okay? So thank you.